Okay, Michael, by now you should have received my email that I sent you this afternoon, having the Artisteer file, the theme, and also a text file showing listing all the features of both Tuxedo and what I add to the Tuxedo. In this video, I'm going to show you all the things that I add on top of the Tuxedo framework. Alright, so let me start with the TGM plugin activation. So I created a sample site on my local server, called it Mic1, and I've got some sample data, the sample products from the WooCommerce plugin, and the default installation of WordPress 3.9.2. Alright, so I've got the 2012, and I'm going to be cheating a little bit because I already installed some plugins, not all, and I've done some other things that's going to make the video process go a little bit faster. Alright, so when I activate the theme, the TGM plugin installer is going to kick in here, and it's telling me that I need to install, it's recommending me to install all those plugins. I can say begin installing all the plugins, where it's going to take me to the screen, and it's going to show me all the plugins that the theme is recommending. Some of the plugins are not in the list because they've already been installed, and if I go to the plugin screen, those are the plugins that are already installed. MicroThemer doesn't come with it, but every single other plugin that you see here, it's in the list. So once you install something from the WordPress repository, it's not going to be shown in the list there. So for example, let me see. The image widgets or my sticky menu, plugin toggle, all those things, the WooCommerce, it's not going to be displayed on that list because it's been already installed. Okay, so if I go and install something else, let me install the why not, the Black Studio TinyMC widget. If I go install it, I configured the TGM to not only download it and install it from the WordPress repository in this case, but also to activate it. So all I have to do is to return to the install screen, the plugin list screen, and it's there. And as you can see, that particular plugin is not part of the list anymore, the Black Studio. Okay, now you can dismiss this notice at any given time, and you're not going to see it. In order to access the list again, it's under the appearance, install plugins, and the list comes back. Or you can go to themes, temporarily activate another theme, in other words, deactivate your theme, and then if you activate it again, this notification is going to come up again. Alright, the final things I want to talk about the TGM plugin installer. It shows you the source, the ones that are coming from the WordPress repository. Once you install them, again, it's not going to be shown in this list unless you either uninstall it or even if you deactivate it. So if I go and deactivate what I just installed, it's going to give me a message that this particular plugin is being installed but not activated, and it's going to give me a choice of activating. The next thing I want to say that although in a local server environment where I've got unlimited RAM, unlimited resources, or maximum RAM, maximum resources allowed, I can do a bulk action, so I can install them all at once, and that shouldn't be a big problem. But I noticed on shared hosting, if I install all of them like that, it's going to run out of resources, and it's going to give me the white screen of death, and the server is going to temporarily crash. As far as GoDaddy goes with shared hosting, there's nothing you can do. Just wait about half an hour, and it's going to come back online. So if you're doing on a live server, um, even on a VPS that has hopefully more RAM, just install them one by one as opposed to doing bulk actions. Okay. Now, some of the plugins like the IG Page Builder, as you can see, it's from private repositories. Those plugins are not in the WordPress repository, obviously. So it's going to be downloaded from my own server, and they don't have a link like the other ones. It's in black. And another thing is that once you install it, um, the TGM plugin installer cannot detect that it's not been installed. So even if you install it, it's that particular plugin is gonna stay in this list, and it's gonna say not installed, even though it's been installed. And I'm gonna do an example with the responsive slider. So we have three types of plugins. One that comes from the WordPress repository, that when you install and activate, it's going to disappear from this list. It's going to come from my private repositories, from my own server, and it's going to come prepackaged. The one I have, the responsive slider. Now the responsive slider is found in the WordPress repository. Why am I prepackaging it? I'm prepackaging it because for every theme, each slider is going to have, it will require different dimensions. So I can pre-program it. For example, this particular theme, the way I did it, it requires 1100 times 300 pixels. So instead of telling my users to download and install the plugin and then go into the settings and put the height and the width of 300 times 1100, or actually width and height 1100 to 300 pixels, it's gonna be done for them automatically. So all they have to do is activate the plugin and install the and upload the images, and they're ready to go. So let's do that really quickly. So if I go to the website, this is what I have, and the way the theme is coded is that automatically, by default, the slider is going to be shown only in the home page. Okay. Right now there is no slider because the plugin is not activated. So these are the steps. These are the things you have to do to have a slider. Go to the themes. Actually, go to the installation. Install the plugin. Okay. Now, as you can see, because it comes prepackaged, even though I just installed it, it still says not installed. But if I go to the plugins list over here, you're going to see that the responsive slider is installed, and a new menu slides has appeared in the menus. If I go to the settings, it's been pre-programmed by me, pre-coded by me. So I have 1100 by 300 pixels, and of course you can change, the transition effect and the durations. All right. So I already have four slides in there. So all you have to do is either say add a new slide or edit one of the slides, and this is pretty much straightforward. You can put a title, you can put a URL. So if somebody clicks on the image, it would take you to that URL, and basically you can upload an image, and when you're done you say update and you're done. So if on the front end, as you can see, and it's fully responsive, as the name suggests, responsive slider. That should have been a hint, right? So it works. Those are the titles. I don't have any URLs to show you. I automatically configured with CSS, so the slider is going to have a shadow effect on it for a nice 3D effect, and that's it. If I go to any other page, it's not gonna be in it. Okay, that's how I coded it. That's how I did it. So that's about the TGM and how to set up a slider, basically. Um, Next, um, okay. One of the codes that I'm putting in here, it's in the RSS feeds, and it's quite important when it comes to the stores for the RSS feeds to show images. Okay, by default, WordPress doesn't do it, and Tuxedo Themes doesn't do it. You can test it in with Chrome, because Chrome does not show images in RSS feeds. It's not a true RSS feed reader. So for that, I'm going to use Firefox. So the way we're going to do it is I'm going to go to the actual page, shop, and now I'm going to go to, after shop, I'm going to say feed, and you're going to see that the images are going to be there. Again, very important for a store to have images in an RSS feed if somebody's getting the RSS feed. Excuse me. So that's one of the codes that I put in there. The next thing is I removed the any meta tag, the meta generator tags. So it doesn't say here. Let me do WordPress. Actually, the only WordPress that you're gonna get is from. Let me fix that. It's from the bar over here. So if I log out and try it again. Alright, let's try this again. So if I look at the source, if I try to find WordPress, nice spelling. Okay, it's got one, and that's for the art slogan. That's fine, just another WordPress site. As far as the meta tag, it has not been displayed, and that's good for security reasons. So they won't know, hackers won't know what version of WordPress I'm running. So that's a good thing. Alright, next. Alright, let's go into the editor. I put an edit button over here in the themes as well. This is was suggested by John Wright, and it's basically listing all the shortcodes that the system has. As you can see, I renamed them from Tux to Qt, and I've got two new ones. One is the section and the other one is Stitch. Okay, I already showed you this before, so really quickly let me show it again. So if I go to Stitch, for example, here, let me copy paste that. So in between, I can put the content just like that. Say update. Okay, and as far as the section goes, I can put an image, or I can use just the background color. By default, it's going to be the colors DDD. So I can put here some text. There's going to be my full section. Now it's a good idea now at this point to show you a nice plugin that I found, and I included it with the theme. It's called a spacer, and that's pretty helpful in some cases. So I'm gonna go to install plugins. I'm going to install a spacer. Very good. Let me go back to the page, edit, and I want to add some space in here. So the spacer, it's gonna put a button there, and it's gonna have the shortcut over there. It's better to use this button over here. So let's say I want to add a space of 100 pixels. Okay, and there it is. And if I want to add some space above it, I can do the same very easily. So let me get that. Let me organize this a little bit better. Like that. So we have space, some text, then the space again, and that's inside that section. Nice and easy. Okay, very important if you want to, instead of the color, if you want to drop an image, and if you drop an image, it's going to be parallax. I configured it to be like that, so it's going to be parallax image, and you don't have to have text with the spacer. You can say, for example, spacer height 500 pixels, and it's going to be your image. It's going to have the 500 pixels, and be done with it. Okay. Um, those shortcuts, if you go to help support in the shortcodes, you're gonna see that I've got the help for the full width sections and for the stitch content. Okay, nothing magical about it. It's nice and simple. All right. So let me go to the next thing, which are the multi-authors. Okay, so for me to demonstrate the multi-authors, I need to install a plugin called user switching, so I can switch users very easily. Alright, so that's done. So basically I have 3 users set up. Me, who's the administrator. I've got Jack, an editor, and I've got Howard as the author. Alright, so only the administrators can see all the images in the media. So if I go here, I'm gonna be able to see all the images, no problem. However, the other users, in other words those who are not admins, they are going to only see their own images. So if I go to switch to Howard and go to media, no images found. And I'm gonna switch back to myself, and if I go to Jack, switch to Jack, and if I go to media, images are not found again. Alright, so now I'm in as Jack. Let me upload an image. So really quickly, let me go to, where are my images? There you go. Let me go to cars really quickly. Get the 4 cars, upload them. Alright, very good. So if I go to the media file, Jack now is able to see all those 4 images that's been uploaded, and the author says Jack. If I switch back to Nick, to myself, those cars are there because I'm an admin, And finally, if I go back to Howard, since he doesn't have any images, he shouldn't see any again. Okay, so that's the way it works. For security reasons, um, I made the site truly multi-author, but keeps each other's media files separate from each other. Alright, next thing that I added to the tuxedo is I styled the editor. So right now you can't see that I've styled anything, but you're gonna see in a second. So whatever your theme style is, it's gonna be shown in the editor over here. So I've got a link here. I'm gonna convert it really quickly into a button. The easiest way of doing that is putting the class art button on it, and there it is. Okay, so in a in a tuxedo or a regular theme, you shouldn't be able to see the buttons over here, but because I styled it, the same button that you're gonna see, or any image effects or stuff like that that you're gonna see on the front end, you're gonna see the same effects. Even though those boxes over here, you're gonna see the same effects, except the shortcodes, of course. That because the shortcodes are not executed over here. But as far as the CSS goes, buttons, bullets, or anything else, you're gonna be able to see in the backside. All right, next. Let's go with images. Alright, let me get rid of the stitch content and everything else. And let's start with images. Let me add an image. Alright, so let's resize this, make it a little bit smaller. Let's say custom size 500. Alright, good. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is the caption. So I say, I wish this was my car. Okay, so update. So by default, in a regular theme or any other theme, that caption was going to be displayed down here. I wish this was my car. In my themes, it's going to be the mouse over. Okay, and the color is gonna, the image is gonna change. It's gonna turn into a grayscale black and white picture. Okay, so that's a nice effect. Also, if I want to add a shadow or add um, rounded corners at the edges, I can do so very easily by editing the image and adding the classes. Say shadow. Okay, and I'm gonna say rounded 10. And I've got few classes as far as the rounded goes. I have rounded 5, rounded 10, 15, 20, all the way to 30. So it goes in increments of 5s, starts from 5 and ends in 30. That the number indicates the degrees. So I've got 10 degrees, and I'm adding shadow to it. And if say update, as you can see already, the shadow is added and the rounded corners is added to the image from the back end. I'm going to say update. Let's see the actual results. Rounded corners, that's the shadow, there's a mouse over the caption, and there's a lightbox by default. Very nice. So the last thing, as far as images go, this is not that I added, but it comes with a tuxedo. I'm gonna, in case you forgot, I can always add any of the three um, classes: desktop no show, tablet no show, or phone no show. So I'm gonna say phone no show. Whoa, what the hell? Let's add tablet no show as well. Okay, so in this case, the image is not going to be shown in a tablet mode or in a phone mode. Alright, that's that. Next thing that you're going to notice is that when you edit a page now, you're going to see a custom CSS text. And now you're going to be able to put any CSS comments that you put in this box in a page or in a post. It's going to reflect, it's going to be activated only for that specific page. This is not for the entire site, but specifically the code is going to go for this page. And as far as when coding goes, when scripting goes, actually, if you go to the customize screen for the entire website, I've got scripts over here. I've got a header script and a footer script, and a quick way to see whether it's working or not. Usually, you want to put here, the Google scripts, analytics, and stuff like that. Or you can even put CSS scripts in there. So if I put anything in here, you should be able to see it up there. There it is. And same with the footer. Okay. Usually you put things that's not going to be displayed on the page, like analytics codes. All right. All right. The next thing is, if you go to settings and then discussion, you're gonna see disable comments for post types. And right now I've disabled all the comments for pages, media, and slides. Media and slides don't have comments to begin with. Okay, so all the comments are turned on for posts, blog posts, and for the products, WooCommerce products. Okay, so if I go to pages, for example, this page, and edit it, even though, let me see, let me turn everything on. Okay, even though the discussion allow comments is turned on, because in that box it's been turned off, it's you don't have comments. Okay, as far as the products go, really quickly, if I go to this product, you have reviews. For example, I have 4 reviews. All I can turn it off, of course, from the WooCommerce settings, but I can also turn it off from here. Discussion, products, and that's the end of the discussion as far as products go. So if I go to the same product, the reviews button is gone. It's gonna be gone from all the products. Okay, that's a very quick, fast way of turning off a discussion for any post type. Let me turn it on again. Alright, let me show you how to do logos now. If you see the RTX file, I've got a ID control called logo, and another one for the WooCommerce. Okay, so if I want to put a logo in, let me do that really quickly. I need to go to customize first of all and turn off the title, site title, and the tagline. So we're gonna have a blank space there. Very good. And then I'm gonna end up going to the widgets, and I've done some work before. Find the logo widget area. In order for this to work, you need to activate the image widget. That's part of the plugins that comes. You just install it. It's called the image widget, and basically you get a widget that you can install images. So if you open it, you can say select an image, and in this case I put the my logo in there. Don't put a title, because if you put a title, it's going to display it. Make sure the title is empty. You can put a link, put the home link over here. Whether you want to open in a new window or stay in the same window, and then you can put a custom size. It's 616 width by default. Let me bring it down to 450. Align it center, and now you have your default tuxedo logic, budget logic that you can use. In this case, I want to show it in all the pages and display it for all devices, whether they're logged in or logged out. Save it, and that's it. So there it is. It's responsive, and if I click on it, it's gonna take me to the home screen. End of story. I don't know why people make such a big deal of logos, and in this case I can change the logo or edit it, the settings or the actual image from the back side. I don't need Artisteer again to change the logo. Alright, same with the mini cart. That's actually much easier. In the Artisteer file, I put the control ID, renamed it to VTE1, and then all I have to do is get the mini cart widget, put it in there, and that's it. All I've done is aligned it to the center, and that's it. And that mini cart works. So if I go and add a new item in there, it works. Okay. The last two things I'm going to talk about is the menus. I've got the static the static menu. It's not really static. It's jQuery that it comes down with a when the string goes down, and the off canvas menuing. So basically replaces the responsive menu. Okay, and it works. So really quickly, they both come with the TGM plugin activation. Let's start with a shift nav. The shift nav is the only plugin that when you install it with a TGM, it's not going to activate. It's going to say that something about a header not active or whatever, and you need to go to the plugins screen, the actual plugin, and you're gonna see that the shift nav, it's been installed but not activated. So all you have to do is activate it. Okay, I don't know why it's happening. Hopefully with a new update of this plugin, it's gonna fix the problem. But in the meantime, just know that when you install it with a TGM plugin installer, it's going to give you some sort of a minor error, and it's not going to activate it. You need to come to this plugin screen and activate it. And the second one is the My Sticky menu. That's the the top menu, the sticky menu. All right, so let's start with a shift nav. So in order for you to configure it, first of all, in order for you to use them, and actually every website should have a custom menu, no matter what. So I created a custom menu called it primary. In order for you to use shift nav, you need to have a custom menu set up. You don't have to use a custom menu for the other one, the sticky menu, but the shift nav has to. So and you need to set it up your menu to use it also, um, to set it up with a shift nav. So you need to click that. That's my primary menu, and then automatically add the new top level pages to this menu. Alright, so if I go to the settings, display the toggle bar. Okay, I've got the toggle breakpoint at 1100. Basically that's where it breaks into the responsive mode. The menu, the theme menu, it's .art/nav. Okay, and then I want the toggle content to display the word menu, and then I want the text to be aligned. You can set the background colors, text colors, um, and you can set other things. The one thing that it's important over here is that by default it's going to have load font awesome. That's going to be a duplicate, so unnecessarily you're going to be loading the font awesome, because Tuxedo themes already load the font awesomes. Okay, so that's all the configuration you need to do about the shift nav. I guess the hardest thing, the only thing you have to remember is that the breakpoint is at 1100, and we have .art/nav. Okay. As far as the other one goes, it's in the settings, my sticky menu, and over here the thing that you have to remember. It's funny because with this menu, if I put the .art/nav didn't work, but when I put .art/menu it worked. I've got another website with my Marie theme. I had it as .art slash dash nav, just like the shift nav, but whatever. So you have to put that in there. I've got the sticky opacity at 35. You can change it. You can change whatever settings you want. You can even try to customize it. And basically the beautiful thing about this is that it takes by default it takes this style, except the background color, but the button style, the menu styling from your themes menu. So by this menu, when you emailed it to me, the menu items were on the right side, so all these things were up here on the right side. So I had to redo it and center the menus, so I'll have a center up here, so I didn't have to try to do it with the with some CSS commands, and basically that's it. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. You can the only things left that I didn't talk about is the rest of um, the plugins that come with the TGM. Obviously it's very stupid for anyone, even in a local server, to install all of them. So it's a matter of picking and choosing. I've got my Quicker Theme SEO plugin. I've completed it now. After you very correctly told me that it didn't have keywords, so I added that. So I've got now title tag, keywords, a meta description, and it shoots out the commands, the meta tags for both Google and Facebook. So I've got the open graph codes in there as well. The rest of them you can figure out, and if you can't, I'm either one email or one phone call away. I'll talk to you soon, Mike.